In the beginning, there was nothing. And then... Sonic Boom! And then there was Blue. Ladies and gentlemen, Blue Nile 101 and Derptaku!
From gaming to society,
Crap AAAs to incredible indies.
a lot has happened this year.
But we're back again.
We're back. Let's get those cogs turning. Derp, it's been ages.
It's been a year. We haven't spoken at all in like a year.
Serious question. How are you? It has been a minute.
I'm doing fantastical. Making it by. We're doing good. We're doing good. Still with the rain. She's a good lady.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
Working on Glittrix on a very regular basis now. Actually getting shit done, doing tests, doing all the fun stuff.
You did a test, this past Saturday?
Yup. And, well, depending on when this comes out, it might be the Saturday before, but yes.
But long story short, your tabletop game that you've been talking about since the before times was actually... It's actually in a testing phase.
Absolutely. Fully, actually 100% done as far as classes and the game itself goes. So I had some critical feedback from a couple of the people last game, and I am changing up one of the mechanics for combat, but it's not a huge change. It's just a minor type of thing, but yeah.
Okay. Well, that is exciting, though. Glittrix, it's now in the testing phases. You're still with your girl, and... yeah, the Paradigm is now a society.
Paradigm is now a society, but we skipped over you. I mean, you still have the wife, right? I mean,
yes.
You dumped her upstairs for tonight, but I think you're still good, right?
No, I'm still good. No, she's upstairs because she wants to be upstairs. That sounds horrible.
You didn't make it sound any better, my dude.
No, I know. No, I'm still married to the lovely Arcanian. We're doing well. I don't know. It's been a rocky roller coaster of a year. A lot of emotional roller coaster for Blue. Nothing terrible. Just
Fun.
What happened? What? I turned 39 in March. You know, it's interesting. Life is interesting. I've been busy with work. We had a great summer event. I had one of the coolest summer events that I think I've ever done for the Paradigm with Summer of Bond.
The Paradigm Society presents... Summer of Bond.
James Bond.
Yeah, and the video you and Omega did was great. The little opening thing was fantastic.
Oh, the trailer that we created for it?
The trailer and your little cutscene, like your opening thing with you walking with the gun barrel. Or
Oh
scope.
man, that gun barrel thing was so fun. I'm gonna give a shout out to Omega Apex 128 for helping me film a lot of the stuff for the trailer video of the gun barrel. He was also a guest for one of the games, Everything or Nothing. I had a blast. We just played nothing but James Bond games. We watched James Bond movies and Discord, and of all the gaming events we've done, that was my. Every year I feel like it's my most ambitious, but this one was my most ambitious. And as soon as I finished summer, and then school started at my work. I really feel like I took like a month and a half break off. I haven't really streamed until a couple weeks ago.
You did. And, you did your Zelda.
Yeah, I started Zelda. I asked everybody to help me out. What should I play next? I'm interested in these games, and they all voted for Twilight Princess. So we started playing that a couple of weeks ago, and it's been great.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't.
You didn't vote?
You know what I voted for?
Oh, you voted for something else. You voted for Sailors.
I voted for sailors. I'm looking for sailors.
Do you know of any shops where sailors might go? Do you know any place where sailors hang out? Do you know anywhere that sailors hang out? I'm looking for sailors. Sailors?
Yeah, Shenmue 3 is a game that we will be playing soon, TM. I have to go through Zelda first.
Don't toy with my emotions, sir.
Dude, I have to. I've already streamed the first 2 games, remember?
Yeah, but it's been so long. It's like, I'm going to play 3.
2,000 years later.
Well, I'll make you a promise then, because some of the games that I go back to with their sequels later, I love making previously on videos. And I did one for Zelda. I did a previously on Zelda, and it was all the random clips of me playing Zelda games throughout the years. And I did one for Shenmue when we did Shenmue 2. So I'll make another fun one when we do Shenmue 3, but I got to get through Zelda first.
Good.
But yeah, overall, the blue is good. The blue is good. Just living, working, and trying to find ways to, have fun in Discord and our society and our community. And it's always coming up. What's the next thing that I should be working on next?
Yeah. And my next thing is I have to play WoW offline when I get the time. It's been a lot of work right now, but I'm gonna get back into that this week because I'll have more time this week. So
why do you have to play it offline? What exactly are you playing in WoW right now, for those who don't know?
Oh, yeah. Nobody knows. Ha-ha. Classic hardcore World of Warcraft. Basically, you die, your character's dead for good. Leveling all the way 1 to 60 on the classic World of Warcraft.
Now, you were streaming this for a while.
I was streaming it. But main reason that I'm putting it to more of I'm going to do it offline and record it and do a YouTube thing and do it more highlights is because a lot of the leveling up and just the time it consumes will take me way too long over the course of, it'll probably take a year at the speed I'm doing it just to get to 60 if I make it to 60. So I figure it'll be easier to just play it in my off time and just build up video that I can take the highlights from of close calls and other crap, and, the moment I probably die. Or reach 60, whichever comes first. And then just put that into a video, maybe 2. It just depends on how many things happen, because I don't want it to be a
laughing stock?
A nothing video, like nothing happening video.
I see. But I will tell you, even if you do record, maybe say a few hours of footage of you playing World of Warcraft and nothing happens, I promise you, I can help you turn that into something.
Well, we will see, sir. But
yes,
I should be able to record sometime like Monday or something.
Okay, well, that is exciting. So what level are you right now?
25? 26? 25?
Okay.
Something like that.
You do have some ways to go still, but hey, you're still alive, and that's what counts in the hardcore world, right?
Yeah, I'm being a gigantic pussy when I'm leveling, though. Like, I'm not taking any chances.
What are you doing? Fighting boars? Is that it?
No, just sticking to the quests that I know that won't kill me, trying to stay away from zones that tend to hyper spawn. Taking my years of experience into just leveling to 60 easily, if I can.
We recently had this discussion. Your years of experience. How long has that been? How many hours of WoW did you say you had in Discord?
At minimum 9,600 plus.
Damn, dude.
Because I think I did 400 days as the math, but I know I have way more than that as played.
Well, because you've been playing since it launched, right?
Oh, a year and a half after.
Okay.
2 years after. You played before I did.
Yeah, I remember trying it and getting into it, and then Burning Crusade came out. I think that Burning Crusade is when I stopped. That, and I didn't have the hardware to really run it.
I was with questionable company at that time.
Yes, you were. But at least you had World of Warcraft to keep you company.
We'll go with that.
Sometimes there is tiny bits of light within the darkness.
So poetic. Much meaning, much depth, much amaze, many wow.
No words, just emotions.
That's you.
Yep.
It's been quoted.
It has been quoted. Well, it's also a song title of mine. You remember? My second album under I Awakening, I have a track called No Words, Just Emotions.
Realistically, that's just a running joke ever since your Ghostbuster thing you went to.
Oh, yeah. When I met Ernie Hudson and I got interviewed, and it's like...
Great. And have you been to CryptoCon before?
No, this is my first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a Ghostbuster walking in the room, what's your immediate reaction?
There was no words, just emotions. I mean, I've been a Ghostbuster fan since I was like 5 years old, and all of a sudden I met Ernie Hudson for the first time, and I'm just like, this is really happening. Honestly, I got that line from Dane Cook. It was one of his stand-ups where he was doing a bit, and he just said,
No more words. Shh, no more words, just emotions. Shh, come here.
and I started laughing so hard because I'm like, I can totally relate to what he's saying. I can totally understand it.
Yep, because that's you. That is you.
Yep, that is me. It me. And then I
you.
held on to that. I held on to that for the rest of my life.
And the time keeps on going.
Hell, if you could put that on my gravestone. Hey, here lies Blue. No words, just emotions. And everybody like, fucking A.
Everyone just pounding their chest. We got you, bro.
Yep.
We got you, Blue. Yeah, it's been a year. Lots of stuff happening, lots of games.
You know, I've been listening to our old episodes off and on just for a couple reasons. One, you're going to be like, aw, because I miss your voice sometimes when we don't have a chance to ever speak.
Gang!
I know, right? And then the other reason is, well, it's like, what was our topics? What did we do? What did I think worked? And I'm analyzing how we built and structured episodes. And you can obviously tell a gradual increase in production quality and confidence in our voices, right? From the beginning all the way up to when we stopped.
Yep.
And the last episode we did was... What was your top favorite games of 2022?
Uh-oh. I see a creeper in the back.
Well, we have my lovely wife Arcania. See, I told you she was here and she's fine.
No, you tossed her up into the dungeon upstairs.
Apparently I tossed you up into the dungeon upstairs and I said, she's fine.
I mean, basically, yeah.
Thank you she got me a burrito. California burrito. I love it.
Something you haven't had in a bit.
That is true.
She made that upstairs?
She made this burrito upstairs with her phone using DoorDash.
Oh, that is fair.
You can't make this up. You can't make this up.
What did he say?
He said, what did she do? Make this upstairs? Yeah, she made it upstairs with her phone using DoorDash.
Yep. And then wrapped it in a very nice California burrito wrapper that I happen to have from, my days as a burrito seller. Like, what the fuck?
I thought you were going to pause right there with just saying when you were a burrito.
Back then when she was a burrito. That's exactly what she said.
When I was a burrito.
Thank you.
I figured you'd relay the message.
Oh, it's too good. She was picking up what I was putting down, so. Anyway, our previous episode, the last episode we did was 2022, top favorite games, and a look into the future. This is when we announced that Paradigm Gaming was no more, and it was a sneak peek into the future.
The future?
The future, which now has become the Paradigm Society.
And we meant to come back to, Cogcasting, but, we're busy.
Yeah.
We're busy fuckers.
We also realized that we're damn near pushing 40. I'm going to be there first.
Yep. You're rushing to that finish line, aren't you?
Yeah, we're slowing down in terms of, like, what we used to be able to do, but we still want to do what we love to do. Talk about, well, as a society, now we can talk about more than video games, which is great, but we still love video games, so we're still going to talk about it, right?
Damn right.
But even with these Cogcasts, we loved them so much. We thought it would be really good, a cool idea to talk about. You know, at some point we're gonna be like, okay, it's the season. What's your top 5 anime? I haven't watched any. Oh, you haven't? Oh, then you're gonna give me shit for it. I'm like, oh yeah, well I watched this. That's because you're a weeb. Oh yeah, fuck you. Oh yeah, fuck you. I'll see you next week.
And all I have to say is Silent Hill HD remake.
God damn it, dude. I knew you were going to bring that up. And you know what? Okay, speaking of Silent Hill, when we were talking about, like, the early days of our podcast, there was Silent Hill rumors left and right, and I told you that I would freak the hell out if I ever found out they would ever make a Silent Hill game. Guess what? Last year, Konami did its own presentation, and like 6 different Silent Hill things are coming out. Movies, an interactive TV show, video game / combo from the...
An asymmetric killer game, isn't it?
Yes, and then we got the remake for 2, and then we got an original game coming out, and I'm like, Silent Hill everywhere! We got one taking place in Japan in the 60s. It's Silent Hill overload, and I'm living the dream right now, dude.
You know why? DVD was the testing grounds. They wanted to see how popular it could still be, and it probably sold a lot even on another game that isn't even Silent Hill.
Well, I will tell you, when they released that Silent Hill expansion in Dead by Daylight, even I played it and I was like, damn, this is good. This looks exactly like Midwich Elementary.
Yep.
Maybe we're overdue for another Dead by Daylight community stream.
We're overdue for community anything.
That is true. That was one of the things we tried to get back to, but life, got in the way.
We did good for about 3 months there.
We did, but life didn't find a way. Life got in the way.
Very true, Mr. Goldblum.
Hey, you know what? I hope if anybody who's a part of our community who's listening to this, just know that we love you and we do want to play community games with you, and we want you to holler at us if you guys got stuff you want to play. It's just sometimes it is hard. Life gets in the way. Our schedules overlap, and some of you are all on the East Coast, some of you are in the Midwest, and some of you are in...
other countries.
Yes. So it is challenging sometimes, but just know that Paradigm's going nowhere. We're going to have time to play games with each other and have fun, so...
Sir, that sounds negative. We are always going somewhere, but we're not leaving.
We're always going somewhere, but we're not leaving. Can I put that on a t-shirt? That's like, oh my god, that reminds me of this movie that we watched for movie club at work, and it was it was Cradle to the Grave, and DMX was hilarious. He's like,
can't tell you how to get there, but you know where to be.
It's like that. It's like that. Oh my god. The only reason why I remember that saying is because my boss likes to repeat it on occasion just to drive us nuts.
Oh yeah, but anyways, talk about Jeff Goldblum earlier, the Goldblum.
Yeah.
So I listen to a lot of D&D podcasts now. That's like my thing that I listen to on my work because there's a lot of episodes and I can just listen to them and enjoy the stories.
Yeah.
Well, I had recently found out that Jeff Goldblum does play D&D and has a podcast on Spotify that's not his podcast, but he's a character in it, and he plays.
That's amazing.
It's fantastic. I've only listened to one episode of it, but it's like a horror-based D&D game, and it's great.
Okay.
Because he plays like some warlock necromancer, and it's amazing.
I'm gonna have to check this out. I love Jeff Goldblum.
But what's funny is he's not actually listed as a player, like his name. He's not listed.
Okay.
They don't say Jeff Goldblum at any point. But it's called Dark Dice.
Okay.
And it's on Spotify. Just listen to the first episode. They don't do any of the dice stuff. Like, they don't say a lot of the dice stuff. They do occasionally, but a lot of it's just storytelling and narrative. And then there'll be a moment where you're like, I think that's Jeff Goldblum. And then the voice doesn't sound right. You're like, no, it doesn't sound like him. And then it comes back and you're like, no, that is fucking Jeff Goldblum.
I guess it's a way to let the podcast or the D&D podcast and the campaign be its own thing, but he's still a part of it, I guess? Shrouded in mystery?
Something like that. I have no idea. I just know that I never once heard his name listed, but you know it's him. Because Jeff Goldblum.
I rolled a 1. What else has been new?
Nothing.
No?
Just living life, working, doing my deliveries. I know I never started the Derpy delivery thing, but I've also haven't been driving my main car for quite a while now.
You're primarily what? DoorDash? What are you?
No, Walmart Spark.
Walmart. Okay.
I'm mainly doing
Spark.
Walmart deliveries because it's more consistent and I can actually plan out my pay rather than hoping for food deliveries.
Gotcha. Instead of hoping and praying, you're actually guaranteed work?
Sorta, kinda. Not guaranteed, but I can guarantee that there will be offers that drop through. It's just a matter if I want to accept them or not.
Oh, okay, I see. So there is some flexibility, and you still have some control on what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly like Uber and DoorDash, except it's Walmart grocery delivery.
Okay, well, that's exciting.
Yeah, but that's about it. That's my life. Deliveries and D&D podcasts and Glittrix.
I like it. My life has been working. I work in IT, for those who don't know, for a school district, and mine is work. You come home and you do the chores in the house and stuff. And I always try to stream on Twitch on Sundays. It's kind of like my one day. But lately I've been getting into, in between being busy and doing all this stuff in real life, I've been reading a lot of self-help books. I just got Arnold Schwarzenegger's new book called Be Useful, and I'm looking forward to actually reading that. My mother sent me Patrick Stewart's new memoir called Making It So. I'm excited to pick that up.
I saw you post a picture of that.
Yeah, it's really neat. Patrick Stewart is one of my favorite human beings on the planet, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is a personal hero of mine. Not just because he's a action star, but I mean, if you ever get a chance, dude, watch the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary Netflix series. It's about an hour long and 3 episodes each, and it just goes through his entire life before acting, when he was acting, and when he was governor, and it's inspiring to see what he went from nothing and to something and trying to give back to America and the people who've helped him. He's trying to give back to people to kind of get them up off their feet, and it's the things like that I've been kind of addicted to lately. Just finding things to kind of reignite the spark inside. It's something that'll give me some glimmers of hope in this world.
Yeah.
It's a lot of doom and gloom out there, so it's a breath of fresh air when you have somebody like your own hero Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to shine some light on people and help people out, and I'm excited to read his book. But beyond that, I still have a Steam Link. An actual Steam Link.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh, cool. You have one too?
Yep.
Well, I hooked it up into the living room because as much as I'm in my gaming room right now, right? And I do play games here on Twitch on the monitor and all that, but there's sometimes you just want to lay down on the couch. But most of my games are on Steam. So I re-hooked up my Steam Link and I started playing Cyberpunk 2077 brand new from scratch. I bought it on Steam. I had it on PS4 with the PS5 upgrade, but I bought the PC version with Phantom Liberty, and it's amazing. It's beautiful, and streaming it to my Steam Link in the living room, oh, it's so comfy. I can just play it, and it just works, right? It just works, and it looks great. And I've been having a blast with just playing games on the couch lately. It's been Cyberpunk and The Outer Worlds on PS5. The
Nice.
Spacer's Choice Edition. I've been spending a lot of time playing that from... Well, I'm a lot farther than I ever have been, but I started from the beginning of that, too. Just wanted to escape from the world for a few hours and play first-person games, but not just a shooter, but stuff that you can, collect stuff, get involved in quests, and it's been kind of an addiction lately.
Good shit.
Yeah. I'll let you know when I beat Cyberpunk and start Phantom Liberty. I don't know. Have you tried it yet?
I don't have Phantom Liberty, but I have messed with the new update a little bit because I've been playing games on my ROG Ally.
Oh, that's right. The ROG. Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I was without it for about a month, though, unfortunately, because there was a problem with when they first came out that they ran too hot. It was something with the firmware, or it might have been something with just a set number of units that it overheated. Like, the air comes out on the back on the top on each side.
Okay.
And the SD card, the expandable, like the extra one you can put in, is in front of one of those heaters or one of those fans that expel the heat. So on the inside, it was getting too hot and it burnt out the SD card slot.
Oh.
So I had to send it back for repairs. And when they sent it back, and it updated and everything runs fine now. It doesn't overheat. It was just running really hot when I first got it.
Wow.
And I think they fixed it, but by the time they had fixed it, I had already burnt out my SD card. So...
Well, ROG Ally, so that is dope. I'm like I said, I'm jealous. That thing looks so cool. I've watched so many YouTube videos and reviews on that device.
See, here's my review.
Derptaku Review.
It works great. It runs phenomenal. Obviously, the battery life isn't great because of how much power it's putting through, but it still runs only like 5 or 6 minutes less than the Steam Deck.
Really?
And it charges in an hour. So, because it has a 65-watt charger as opposed to Steam Deck's 25 or 35, I can't remember which it is, but the Steam Deck takes like 3 to 4 hours to charge for 100%, and it's only like an hour for the ROG, and you can have it plugged into the wall and just play it too, and that's fine.
And it's a Windows operating system, right?
Yeah, it's Windows 11, so you don't need to worry about the Steam OS and having to bypass that to make it work like a computer. You can download Battle.net, you can download Epic Games, install the games on that, and you can set profiles so the buttons work for certain things like they would. Like, you can bypass everything so you can use controller on everything, which it's just a giant controller with a screen in the center.
Right.
So, it's like an over-the-top Switch.
Well, I guess it's a portable PC at that point, but you said Battle.net. I'm just thinking, oh man, Diablo 4 on that thing would be fun.
Yeah, you can play Diablo 4. I've tested it. It runs.
Nice. Oh, but you said you tested Cyberpunk, the 2.0 update. What are your thoughts on that one? Because what I've initially seen so far is just, even just going from PS5 to PC is a big difference, right? They both look great, but the PC looks better. There's more NPCs running around the streets.
Yeah, it's the NPCs are the big thing, is because when I first started playing, the NPCs were not a lot. It wasn't like it didn't feel like a filled city, and the NPCs were a lot of the same. They didn't have a lot of different looking models programmed in.
There's a variety, and it feels like a packed-in city now.
But now it actually feels better. And then they got the new skill trees and that, which I've only just started on. I'm not that far in.
I just started on that one too, and I still go to my basics. Like, I love being a tank. I want my health and power armor to be up, so I've been building that so far.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think. I did run Starfield on it, on the Ally. It did run, but I think it's just I haven't tested it since the new patch on Starfield. But there was always a problem with when it got to the beginning, when all the pirates were landing and you had to fight a bunch of pirates. It's like the first thing you do in the game.
Yeah.
It started to bog down on PC and on my Ally too. But it runs great on the Ally, besides that part that even my PC couldn't run it. It has built-in new rendering system, FSR. It has it built into the Ally itself that you can auto turn on, and it will automatically do it.
Wow, that's amazing.
I can run Resident Evil 2 on 1080p on Ultra at 60 frames per second on the Ally.
And we're talking about the remake, right?
Yeah, the remake.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the ROG Ally, you just reminded me of something else that I've been going down the rabbit hole and tinkering with this past year, and that's handheld devices.
Because you're RetroTink and stuff like that?
No. Well, my RetroTink is really just a HDMI upscaler. But my Ambernic RG35XX, it's a little handheld-looking Game Boy, but it can run everything from NES arcade games up to PS1 games.
Nice.
But it feels like a Game Boy, and it's got triggers on the back, and it's comfortable. It's impressive. I created and designed my own boot up logo screen. And I also designed my own interface. I made it all Paradigm Society stuff.
That's pretty sick.
For Omega Apex's birthday, I bought another RG35XX, and I customized it to make it all Omega Apex stuff to match his channel.
Oh, aren't you just sweet?
And it's fun, dude. When it boots up, you see the Omega logo, and then as soon as you get to the main screen, you see all the choices you can make between console and settings and this and that, and RetroArch, but each one has its own Omega logo over it. It's pretty cool that I got I went down the rabbit hole to customize my own handhelds, and I loved it because I've got the Retroid Pocket 2 and the Retroid Pocket 3. And then I've got the Ambernic RG35XX, and I've been falling in love with not just emulation, but just handheld emulation and ROM hacks, and playing them on devices that feel like legit hardware.
And modding.
It's been a blast. Oh, dude, modding. Oh my god, it's so fun.
You should mod a game someday just to look at it and see what you can do with the game. And then get attached like me.
I did that already. At least I tested one game. All right, I did an HD mod pack on The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Oh, yeah. I remember you mentioning that.
They turn it from the original Xbox looking type graphics to what you would see in Skyrim today, and it's like...
Or somewhat close, as close as it can get.
It's pretty damn close, and I'm like, this game's gorgeous.
You should do that for New Vegas.
You know what, you're right. That New Vegas is a Fallout game that I haven't touched in a long time.
Fallout New Vegas has a ton of mods and a huge HD project.
Does it really?
Yeah.
New Vegas is one of my favorite games in the series. That is...
I think out of all the games, Fallout 4 is close, but I think Fallout New Vegas has the most mods.
Okay.
Compared to other than Skyrim, and that Skyrim is ridiculous.
Yeah, Skyrim. Well, Skyrim's so popular, they went crazy on that one, which is great. We like it when the community likes a game and then wants to really just go crazy on it and see what else they could do with it. I mean, there's a lot of mods out there where they literally are remaking, or not remaking, but they're literally making brand new games out of the assets of the original game. If New London or Fallout London is a new fan-made game.
Yeah, it's coming out.
It's a fan-made game using mods for what, Fallout 4 assets?
There's a game on Steam called Indirial, and it's based in the Skyrim world, and it's an actual separate game made separate from Skyrim by a modder, and it's actually on Steam. You can buy it.
Really? That's impressive.
Yeah. Indirial.
Oh, and then there's also a new mod coming out that's taking the Skyrim assets and turning it, using those assets to remake Oblivion.
Yeah, Skyblivion.
Skyblivion, that's what it was. And there's videos all over it on YouTube, and I've been going down the rabbit hole just watching people like show off their work on what they're building, and it is so impressive what the community can do.
Yeah.
I love the community for so many reasons. It's not just playing games, it's what they're doing to games. And with the things you can experience. Like, even watching people make The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, remaking those games in various versions of the Unreal Engine is mind-blowing.
Yeah. Now I gotta say, that also is an issue with what we're going to be talking about tonight. Is Bethesda is one of them.
I cut you off. I apologize. What were we talking about again?
Your mama, how about that?
She's doing okay.
Good. Good. It's good to hear. So, yeah. What was our main topic for tonight?
The fall of AAA games and the rise of indie games.
This year alone has been one of the worst years for bad ports.
Bad ports? Bad ports. What do you mean?
Bad ports, or, okay, bad PC released games, or games that just didn't work on release or were crap. This goes for console, but mainly PC, because PC had some of the worst launches this year than they have ever had in the past. A lot of them, just quick succession, boom, 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 boom.
I can get behind that, but help me out here. Remind me. Give me some examples.
We got Redfall. We got... I mean, Starfield is one alone that didn't have a great launch.
It did not.
Wild Hearts was another one. That was the Konami-based Monster Hunter game.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It had crappy optimization, just didn't want to run right. Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
The first game was very popular when they announced the sequel. Everyone was excited, but as soon as it launched...
Oh, Jedi Survivor.
Jedi Survivor. Yeah, it just had a lot of bugs and a lot of...
Yeah.
It just had a lot of issues at launch.
Yeah, on PlayStation it had bugs, but on PC it ran like ass.
Yeah.
I mean, Redfall, they came out and apologized straight up, Xbox, with Phil Spencer.
Yeah, Phil Spencer, when he says, like, this does not represent Xbox, I'm just like, what happened? Why did you let that get released? Like, the YouTube videos I watched on Redfall, on all the technical issues that they had with it upon release was interesting.
Yeah, Golem.
Lord of the Rings Gollum, yeah.
Which, we'll come back to that, but that had the more recent news of an even better thing that went along with it.
You talking about the ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Apology letter?
Yeah.
That's
the apology letter that no one actually wrote and had no feeling behind. It was written by a fucking AI. Or claimed, allegedly.
Allegedly. There's no one coming forward to say that that's what happened, but no one's taking responsibility for it. But I guess ever since they closed their studio, stuff's starting to come out. But let me ask you a general question, though, Derp.
What's that?
When you brought this topic up to me, saying, hey, we should talk about the fall of AAA games and the rise of indie games, why are we talking about this?
Why? Why?
Why does the sun come up? Or are the stars just pinholes in the curtain of night? Who knows?
Because it's showing that just because companies have a lot of money and they make pretty games, quote-unquote pretty games, I think they're overstepping their boundaries, or they're just getting pushed by the publishers to push something out that's not even finished, where they're not looking at the fact that if they had waited and actually let the company do their magic, they would have made a lot more money and wouldn't have had to worry about refunds and all this other crap and losing money, given it's the publisher, so they technically get paid right off the bat.
Yeah, I also think it's a combination between the publishers and, I'm hearing this word a lot lately, the stakeholders.
Yeah, yeah, that's a big thing when it came to Blizzard. Blizzard is a big stakeholder company because of Activision and all that stuff, and everything is just pushed so quickly out the door to get that money return that people will buy it because, I'm sorry, consumers, we are stupid.
Just a lot of stupid people doing stupid things, and so it's all stupid. It's always been stupid. It's always probably going to be stupid.
We see a name we like, we see a game that we've known and loved, and we will go out and buy it.
Yeah, we will.
And more than likely, we won't return it. Some will, but most of us will be like, oh, they can patch it in later, when that's becoming the norm. We expect patches day afters and along the lines and saying it's okay, they'll fix it. Why are we worrying about them fixing it later when it should be coming out working?
Well, you do add some good points here that I kind of want to piggyback off of, because that's exactly where we are in the state of games. When we were kids and gaming was kind of in its like reborn infancy, like they had that video game crash in the 70s, and then with Nintendo it came back in the 80s, and then it boomed after that, right?
Yeah.
It was all about, as a kid, we don't care about stakeholders. We don't care about publishers. We're like, this is a cool looking game.
But also, just real quick, they have to make sure the game works back then, because there is no such thing as an online patch.
Right, exactly. So, and even there were games they released back then that were crappy and dumb, right? We've all experienced that, but
absolutely.
But it was also during a time before the internet, and this was a lot of these games were sold by word of mouth, playground, chalking with your friends, or seeing going to a store like Toys R Us and seeing a demo kiosk going, that looks kind of fun, So the times have certainly changed, but a lot of these kids, like us, we're adults now. So we pay attention to these things. Like, gaming became this gigantic multi-billion-dollar industry when it didn't used to be that. We helped create that as gamers and consumers. And because we helped create that, we are depressed and have podcasts like this where we talk about the state of the industry, because we're watching what we loved as kids basically fall from the wayside, and for no good reason other than corporate greed. And that's the only thing I can really think about, that is corporate greed is what's really coming down to it. Money.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, money is the root of all evil, they say, but at least we're now seeing the things that, it fueled our imagination and gave us things that we dreamed about and it got excited to talk about. That magic, as an adult, isn't there in a lot of these places because it all comes down to money. No, we won't make that sequel because it didn't meet our quota. Or, hey, we just released a new game. I know you're excited for it. It's not ready, but we're not going to tell you that because we want your money. It sucks. And I think it's because of that people like us who were a part of those gaming communities back in the day. Like, they started to form their own smaller companies to make the games that they know they love. And those are becoming more popular because they're passionate people about gaming that want to create and relive that magic, or still create that magic that we used to have when we were kids. I think that's why indies are so popular these days than AAA games.
There's passion. They have passion.
Passion.
They are putting all their money forward to create a game to hopefully make it. So they want to make it right. They don't want to cut corners. They want to make sure that their vision comes true so that people will want to buy it.
Absolutely.
The big boomer this year that people talked about was Baldur's Gate 3. That was the big disruptor, even though people say it shouldn't be, and people shouldn't expect it to come out with this, which I understand the points being made, because it was a perfect storm of things that allowed that game to be made. Like in most cases, it wouldn't be able to be made.
Microsoft offered the company who made Baldur's Gate 3 like $5 million to put it on Game Pass, and they declined. And now it over-exceeded everyone's expectations. It was a gamble. It was a risk on the company's end, but they knew they had something special, and they backed it up, and they proved to the community that, yes, we have a game that's going to rock your socks off, and we will prove it to you. And they did. And what did people do? They went crazy for it, and they spread the word like wildfire. It went all over the internet. This is an amazing game. Oh, my God. Why can't more games be like this? Why can't we have companies that care about their product? I think there's quite a few factors on AAA games that also cause it to fail these days. I wrote a few bullet points in my thing that kind of gave me some perspective. Well, if you even look at how Xbox first-party games like Redfall, like it failed due to quality, like major quality, how it even passed the testing phase to become a final product is baffling. But Halo Infinite as a live service model also failed. Every time they created a new season, it just more complaining on the internet.
I'm going to be real. A lot of the live service games like that fail.
They do.
At least if it's an FPS. If it's a live service FPS, it usually fails, minus Fortnite.
You know, Halo was at its best when it was two things. An epic campaign story for people to care about, and the multiplayer was also fun. But when they did Halo 5 Guardians, where it was nothing but multiplayer, and then the campaign was put onto the wayside, and they didn't put much into it, it wasn't a highly rated game. And when they went Halo Infinite, they're like, cool, guys, Master Chief's back, blah, 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 check this out. And their first demo of it was, well, that became an internet meme because I think they showed it too early because it was the pandemic. And then as soon as it launched, people were excited, but then they started to realize that it was still missing so many things that made Halo great. There's a lot of YouTube videos I watched on it. It's fascinating. But I really feel like Xbox has been putting all of their faith in Starfield, and they've been hyping it up and putting it on a pedestal so much that by the time the people finally got their hands on it, yes, we love Bethesda. Yes, we love Fallout. Yes, we love Skyrim. Yes, they put Skyrim down our throats since the PlayStation 3 era, and it's now PlayStation 5.
And they could have had another game out by now if they stopped worrying about Skyrim and just let it live its life.
Exactly. Thank you. I'm actually glad you brought that up because that's another point I want to make here in a second. But the reviews for Starfield have been meh. They've been comparing it lately to Red Dead Redemption 2, a game that came out for the PS4 years ago. And how much Red Dead Redemption 2 is a far better game visually, technically, and story-wise than Starfield. The amount of Red Dead Redemption 2 versus Starfield videos on YouTube is staggering. And hilarious, actually.
I think it probably also as a flow probably has more of a feeling of like a Red Dead 2.
PC Gamers actually wrote a review about Starfield and says, a disappointingly low-tech space exploration game that relies too much on the legacy of Skyrim and Fallout and lacks the innovation and imagination to do its concept justice.
Short statement. Play No Man's Sky.
Or, in my case, play The Outer Worlds.
Yeah, it's Fallout New Vegas in space.
But that's the point, though, because it's Obsidian Entertainment. They did Fallout New Vegas, the most highly rated Fallout game that everybody loves in the community, over many of the Bethesda's own games, and The Outer Worlds is amazing. It is literally New Vegas in space.
Yeah, and the main reason I say No Man's Sky is because it's redeemed itself so much in how many free, huge updates they have put onto that game.
That's true.
Like, they could have stopped a long time ago, just fixed what it was, and let it go, but they have continuously added to it.
You know what's interesting about No Man's Sky? That actually started out as an indie game before it got a backing from Sony.
Yep.
You know what? You know who plays No Man's Sky right now, surprisingly? And it was never through an influence of myself? My mother.
It's a great game.
She's discovering games on her own, and she found No Man's Sky, and she is absolutely loving it, and hearing her gush about it is the most adorable thing in the world.
Yep. Okay, so anyways, Skyrim came out on November 11th, 2011. 11/11/11.
What year is it?
It is 23, so the game itself is 12 years old.
All right.
That's not counting the amount of years they spent developing it, which was a minimum of 3, on the same engine that is now 15 years old, at least.
And Starfield runs on a...
Starfield is on the same engine. They have not changed their engine for 15 years.
I had 2 reactions to this. My first reaction was, wow, I commend you, Bethesda. My second reaction to this was, what the fuck? Hey, Todd? What the fuck?
They're being held back by their own technology that worked for games of the past, and gamers were hoping, yes, they're excited that you can explore space, and it has a lot of cool concepts, but at the end of the day, it's still being held back by old technology, and they were hoping for more, right?
That's why the characters look like upscaled New Vegas characters.
What's interesting to point out about Starfield is I was doing some research, and here's another reason to kind of narrow down some of the fall of AAA gaming. Starfield has cost over $200 million to make. That is staggering. That is huge. That is more than what a lot of movie companies would make for a movie. When you think about the cost that it takes to make these games, to have them fail is even worse, considering that they spent all this money. They're losing a lot of money, and the money that they spent, they're like, you couldn't even make this like Red Dead Redemption 2, which came out years and years prior for less, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not just Starfield, though. The Last of Us 2 cost over $200 million. We learned that in the Xbox FTC courtroom leaks.
Yeah.
And that game is highly rated. That game is an amazing game, and it actually has a lot of controversy to the story, but that's not the point. The point is, it costs the same, and no one is yelling at The Last of Us 2 like they are Starfield.
Correct.
But then there's also, this one's my favorite. Cyberpunk 2077 cost $174 million to make the base game, the original game before launch, and $142 million in marketing alone. So if you think about it, they pushed so much for people to buy Cyberpunk only to get a broken game anyway at launch.
And do you know how much they spent to fix it?
At least another, what, 130 million?
Yeah, it was 125 mil to fix it.
Cyberpunk is done. It is now at a state where it is perfect, and it is beyond perfect, right? But it was not like that at launch. It was not.
Nope.
It was getting worse coverage than Starfield is today. I gotta give CD Projekt Red, the benefit of the doubt. They admitted their faults. They tried the best they could. They screwed up in a lot of areas, especially when it comes to marketing and PR and the apology letters that they all come out. But they still put their money where their mouth was. They said, we're going to fix this. They did. And they have an expansion for it, which is apparently doing well. And I'm now replaying Cyberpunk, and I'm enjoying it. But it sucks that, when did Cyberpunk come out?
2 years ago.
Here we go. Yeah. Cyberpunk took 9 years to develop before launch. Nine years, and then it launched.
Yep. February 15th, 2022 on the consoles, December 10th, 2020.
Okay. So it was during the pandemic, which is one thing, but it was in development for 9 years before we had a pandemic. They delayed it a couple of times, and they wrote fantastic apology letters saying, we're sorry for the delay, we want this to be perfect. We're sorry for the delay, we need a little bit more time. And the gaming community, their response was nothing but, okay, cool. We're excited. We're glad you're reaching a point to finish it. Please take the time you need. Take the time you need. And then they released it, and then it was... It was worse. It was unexpected. And we're like, guys, you said you were fine. You gave us a letter saying it gone gold and it's ready to go. And then it wasn't. As soon as we launched it, people bought it. People were mad. I remember being a part of just watching this entire thing unfold, and it was a scandal. It was horrible. But it took 9 years to develop, and then it took an extra couple years to get the 2.0 patch, and then they announced a brand new expansion. So CD Projekt Red did put their money where their mouth was, and they fixed it. And right now, from what I can tell from the community and my own personal experience, it's now fun.
Oh, yeah.
Which has been the point.
And honestly, I had fun at release. On PC, it wasn't as bad as, PS4 and 5, obviously, because it just didn't work.
Right.
But...
And I do remember you telling me that. PC's fine, but you're right. But the people who bought it on console...
It was overall okay. It wasn't great. It ran. It worked. I played it. I beat it.
But the scandal was so bad. It was so bad that they started selling it for $10 at Target for PS4, saying if you buy this, you will also get the PS5 upgrade. So I did. I bought it on PS4 for $10 at Target, played a little bit of it, did enjoy what I had. The PS5 came out. The PS5 upgrade eventually came out. Played a little bit more. I'm like, okay, this is cool. But now that it's out on PC and it's fully blown with the 2.0 update, it's amazing. It's just sad that it had to come to that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Can I also add, too, that because Cyberpunk took 9 years, like, people are like, what happened, right? You had 9 years, and why did it take this long? And then why was it so buggy in the end? If you look at Fallout 76, another game that had a massive flop at launch.
Yeah.
That took 7 years to make.
I remember watching the trailer with you.
Yep.
Or, technically with you.
We were excited. We were like, we could do this as a community game, but it was horrible.
It's still not great.
It's better. It's better, but it sucks that the point that I'm trying to make with a lot of this is, like, these have been developed for so long that you start to ask yourself, it released and it's so bad, what happened, right? Like Aliens, Colonial Marines, the one that everybody hates, and I can respect why they hate it. That took 6 years to make.
I think the big thing that people have against Colonial Marines is the bait and switch. It was very shady and shitty what they did.
It was!
Because you look at the tech demo of when it originally came out, what they were trying to show, and then you look at the actual version of the game, it is night and day.
The same thing is with Anthem.
I loved Anthem so much.
It had so much potential, it looked so much fun, but there was a complete difference between the final release game than what they originally showed. And, because here's the part that's going to baffle you the most, because I did research on this. You know how long it took for them to develop Anthem?
Like 8 years?
15 months.
Wait, what?
Right? That's exactly what I said.
But what the problem on that is EA was pushing for that to come out.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. It was not even ready. EA knew it. They pushed it anyway, and then they released it. And that's also another reason why their demos or their trailers matched nothing of the original game. 15 months. And here's the best part. If Alien Colonial Marines was a 9-day difference and that took 6 years to make, what the fuck happened with Anthem for 15 months? Are you guys stupid? Were you that desperate for money?
Apparently, because 15 months and they produced something that cool? Like, I'm impressed.
Right? Well, here's also a 9-day difference on how long it took to make games that were actually successful AAA games. Insomniac Spider-Man. Amazing game. Took 4 years. God of War and God of War Ragnarok. Five years for God of War and 4 years for Ragnarok. Last of Us 2. That took 6 years. Resident Evil 4 Remake. Took 5 years. Square Enix's Final Fantasy VII Remake. That took 18 years. No, I'm just kidding. 6.
Good job.
The tech demo... the tech demo came out first.
Yeah, PlayStation tech demo.
Yeah, it was developed in 6. And it was an amazing game.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing that baffles me. Nintendo's Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That took 6 years to make.
And from my understanding of what you've said and what everyone else has said, it's a good game.
It is a good game.
But it feels the same.
To me, personally, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but it feels like a copy and paste from Breath of the Wild that has almost the same stuff. You have the Korok still, the Korok seeds. You still have all the shrines that you have to visit to get solve all the puzzles. How did this game take 6 years to make when I can't tell the difference between this game and the first game besides the story?
Yeah.
So I was a little upset when I figured that out. So the part of the process is games take a long time to make. That's another reason why they're expensive, and that's another reason why people are wary about their money, you know?
Oh, yeah.
The games are now more expensive to make. They're more expensive to buy, and it's a risk. It's a risk. You're afraid to buy a bad game. And that's another reason why a lot of people are like, hey, you know what? I'm going to wait a month or a year until I know it's going to be fine. And that doesn't help the developers. That does not help the people who want to make money. But
not at all.
You know what my response to that is? They did this to themselves.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money. I think overall, it's not a problem with how much they're spending to make it. It's the fact of how much the higher-ups are pushing the game to go out before it's ready. Like, I'm sure half of these games would make a ton of money if they came out, worked, and were epic.
Yeah, I agree. Now, and I bring money up as part of it as why it costs a lot to make these type of games for a couple of reasons. You want to justify spending a lot of money that makes it seem like you put so many resources in it, therefore it must be good. It's like the illusion, like the more money you put into it, the better the game's going to be, which we've actually learned is not true. There's some indie games that cost less than $10 that are amazing.
Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight.
Yes, exactly. Not this $70, $80, $90 like thing. So I'm afraid to buy a game with my money, because it's a AAA game. I don't know if it's going to be buggy. I don't know if I'm going to have a bad time. I can think of games like Final Fantasy 15. It had a terrible Chapter 13 because the thing was a buggy mess. Look at this, too. I think you'd like this. Okay. Here's what I said. As both gamers and consumers, we're burnt out.
Yes.
We look at new game releases, and we just become cautious as much as we are excited. There's a lot of us now who are fed up with buggy, incomplete games and are willing to wait a few months to a year or more, even to decide if we're finally going to try the game. So when you have a stuff like Game Pass, it's a lot easier because you're already paying for the subscription, so it's more inviting to try it, right? But there's a lot of us who don't have Game Pass or don't want it because we don't feel like we really own the game, and I can go in another topic on that one by itself, but there's pros and cons to both, but the long and short of it is, because we've had so many AAA games released when it wasn't ready or it was buggy and it didn't represent what was originally shown to get people excited, that's one of the reasons why we don't buy AAA games at launch anymore. Back in the day, we didn't care. Yep. We stood in line at GameStop or Best Buy or retailers that don't exist anymore.
Electronic Boutique.
Yes! We were like, the second the clock strikes midnight, we're going to get this game and play it, we're going to celebrate it, we're all going to have fun.
Yep.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Nope. Not at all.
That's depressing. But that's my other problem is that games are more expensive now to make. They're more expensive to buy. And I hear a lot of arguments that if you adjust for inflation, a lot of games back then cost more, in the long run, but $100 is still a lot of money back then, as much as $100 is a lot of money now.
Yep.
So AAA games, they want more of our money these days. When you look at like pay to win, microtransactions, deluxe editions, ultimate editions, pre-order perks, live service games, like they want your money, and it's in your face and it's depressing. And that's another reason why I take a step back, look at the game for what it is before I decide to try it, because I just feel like I'm getting surrounded by blood-sucking gaming companies who just want my bottom dollar, and all I want is to have a magical experience playing a video game.
Yes, and you know what? To go off of one thing is, one big thing is when you go to play one of these AAA games, and you don't like it, or it's buggy, it's shitty, it just doesn't work, you're less likely to come back, and that's a proven fact, because you don't want to go back and play something that you already decided that you hate or dislike because it is shit.
Yeah.
It is much harder to retain an audience on something that was shit and bring them back than it is to finish the game and keep them on a working product that you gave them first.
The same goes for being a company in general that has toxic environments and worse practices that get exposed on the internet. GameStop is a shop I will never shop at because of its practices and the way it treats its employees.
The Monopoly money fiasco.
Yeah, Monopoly money fiasco was one thing too. Not to mention, if you look at Blizzard, it's different now and they have different people running it. But it was a shit show with the way the employees treated each other, the way...
Now, officially, we'll have somebody different running it, but Bobby Kotick's been there for 31 years.
The fact that we have Xbox taking over Activision and Blizzard for the first time, it excites me because I'm hoping that, A, they have better working conditions and they actually put out product that, people want to play. Blizzard's always been great with games, but when you learned about the shit that they had to deal with at their own company, it's like, I don't want to be a part of that. It's no different than not wanting to be a part of the Harry Potter universe because of J.K. Rowling's comments about the trans community. Like, as soon as you associate with all this negative hate, no one wants to be a part of that, and that's why they don't want to be a part of your games. It's baggage. It's absolute baggage that people just want to play games and enjoy them, but it's hard to do that when it's met with so much horrible stories.
Yeah. Like me, I've just gotten to the point where I get all the hate towards certain things. I don't care anymore. Me personally, I know I'll catch hate because, I'm supporting the bad causes and all this other stuff. I'm giving money to people who don't deserve it because they're assholes. Like, I just don't care. They're going to get their money anyways. I want to enjoy my time and have fun in life.
I don't disagree with you on that one. I do feel that at the end of the day, you do have to you got to take care of yourself. You got to find things that you enjoy, and if and if you find a cause there or something that says, what, I actually don't want to be a part of that, that's fine. But if you're like, what, I enjoyed that game and I'm going to keep playing it, more power to you. You do you. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. But at the same time, the whole thing I'm trying to make a point of is like, dude, just the whole Blizzard Activision thing, but the strikes, the way they treat their employees, the way the employees treat each other, it was depressing as a gamer because they make some of my favorite games, and now my heart's broken for these people who had to experience hell just to develop a game that I enjoy. So I've been hoping for Xbox to take over because I want them to have better conditions.
And that's a fair point. Fair point. And for the most part, I stopped supporting Blizzard too until recently when I went back for Hardcore Classic. That's it. That's all they've gotten from me. Yeah. Like, after everything, I haven't cared about WoW since Legion.
Yeah, that's a long time
ago. At all.
Yeah.
3 expansions now. I haven't even bought Dragonflight. I still haven't, and I'm not going to. Because when the next expansion comes out in a little under a year, it's not going to matter. It'll be free on the next set, and then I'll have it again. So it's not like a big deal. But it's just, I don't know, for the most part, when it's like certain things that I can't bring myself to stress about it because I may not support it.
There are some things beyond our control, and we choose what we let in and we choose what we be a part of, right?
Yeah, I may not support the things behind it, but I want to have fun. I want to enjoy my time. Life's too short to give a fuck. Just support your friends, but enjoy yourself.
You have a point there. I don't disagree with that one. Now that we've kind of covered a lot of the
negative AAAs, let's do a couple positive AAAs.
Well, I did have some of the pros. There are some games out there that are AAA that are absolutely amazing in my opinion, and not just mine, but just even in general. If you look at a lot of the ratings for a lot of these too, like for example, Insomniac Spider-Man. IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. I agree. That was an amazing experience.
The first Spider-Man game was amazing.
Santa Monica Studios, God of War 2018. The reboot / continuation, and Ragnarok.
I still haven't played Ragnarok.
I still haven't beaten Ragnarok. It is one of the most amazing gaming experiences I've had. And shout out to my homeboys at Capcom for Resident Evil 4 Remake. Let's fucking go! Oh my god, please, god damn, that game is amazing!
And just from the words of R, which I'll have to half agree with this, or I'll agree with it, is it didn't need a remake.
It didn't.
I get it. It's cool to have a remake. Where's Code Veronica? Code Veronica needed a remake much more than 4 did.
I agree. It's my favorite Resident Evil. It really is. I love Code Veronica so much.
Yep. I love my Code Veronica.
Did 4 need a remake? No, but, and they made one. They did. And even I went in completely skeptical going, how do you remake a perfect game? And I don't know what they did, dude, but when I played it, it was the most fun I had at Resident Evil in a long time. I can only hope that with the remakes that they're doing, that they take what was good from these remake experiences and use those to make new games, future games, games that continue the franchise. I love Resident Evil. It's your fault, by the way.
You know what? I take that back. They do need to remake one Resident Evil, maybe before Code Veronica.
I swear to God, if you say Survivor, I'm going to kill you.
It's Resident Evil 6.
Okay, I agree with that. Because that game needs a remake. If you remake that game, it's going to be a completely different game. You have.
Except for shout out to Piers and this voice actor.
Shout out to
who
Piers.
joined her stream.
Dude, that was so cool. We played Resident Evil 6 on Twitch during Summer of Scares, and the actor who played Piers visited our Twitch channel and said hey, and that was the coolest thing ever.
Good times.
And I also gotta give a shout out to Square Enix. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I know they're doing it in 3 parts, but that first game was phenomenal.
Still haven't beat it.
Dude, the second one's coming out soon. You better get on that. Oh, and replay Crisis Core. I don't know if you saw the trailer for the second part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but Crisis Core looks like it's going to be pretty big involvement with this one.
Yeah, there were things in the trailer that confused me because I haven't played one.
Yeah, you should do that. I'm so excited for the next Final Fantasy Remake entry. They're doing great. I love Square. I love Final Fantasy.
I need to play Final Fantasy 16 as well.
I need to continue it. I have started it. I have not gotten far because I got lost in other video games.
That's what happens. We're old. We get sidetracked.
Do you realize how much content there is to consume now than when we were younger?
A lot.
It's almost too much, you know?
So much.
When I get it, people ask me, hey, did you watch this? I'm like, well, what is that? I don't know. I don't live under a rock. I swear to God, I'm just doing other things.
Oh, good AAA games. Elden Ring.
There you go. There you go.
You know, anything from Soft Touches is gold.
You know, I can't argue with that. That is legit.
Bloodborne.
I really hope Bloodborne either makes a sequel or they bring it to PC. They need to do something.
I'm honestly just hoping for a PC port. I don't care about a sequel. It would be hard for them to match up to what the first game was. I'm sure they could do it, but I would be happy with a PC update, like a remaster.
I love it when games come out for PC because then the community does mods and stuff.
Yep. And that's one thing I can hope for, but I would mainly just want the 60 FPS at 1080, updated textures and stuff. That'd be a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
Dead Space, the remake.
Oh my God, the Dead Space remake was phenomenal. Even when that game was announced to get a remake, I was so skeptical going, you don't need to do that. Why are you doing that? And then I played it, and it was good. It was so damn good.
You know, aside from the apparent failure Callisto Protocol, but I never played it.
I haven't played it yet either, and I kind of feel bad. I wanted that to be something that everyone enjoyed. It was from the original Dead Space team, you know? But it's getting mixed reviews. It's not a failure, but it is a failure in a sense that it didn't meet their quotas and their marks, and the creative director left the company. But it's still like a mid-tier game according to the reviews, and I have it. I just haven't played it yet.
Oh! Before we go off, I did try out the RoboCop game yesterday.
I know I missed your stream, and I'm so sorry. How is it?
It's not bad. It's a walking tank simulator, and you run around, you get 3 heals, you can find items to refill that so you can heal. But you basically are a walking tank and you just blow everything to hell. And it's got an semi-open cityscape that you walk through for missions. Like, you do missions, but you can walk through a city and do things. It was cool.
Do you remember the RoboCop movies?
Yeah, I remember the first one fairly well.
I highly recommend you rewatch the first 2 at least. Three, they didn't have Peter Weller and it was stupid. But the first 2, dude, what you're describing, it's the movies.
All the same actors, as long as they're still living.
Yeah, exactly. They got Peter Weller back for this one, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's the original RoboCop dude.
Yep.
I don't know his name, but I'll take your word for it.
It's Peter Weller, trust me. I'm a fan.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Well, now that we've covered all the doom and gloom of AAA games and also noted some positive games that we did love, some positive AAA experiences, let's talk about indie games.
Lots of good indies out there.
What is your opinion on indie games?
Like we were saying earlier, like, indie companies have the passion that push them to create games that are great most of the time. Some that come to early access are half-baked, and some don't get off the ground or succeed. It does happen, but the ones that shine are much more often than a AAA does.
Now, it's interesting with the early access thing because that never used to be a thing when we were younger, but it does give the developers a chance to have people try their games so they can improve them, make them better.
And also get some early returns on what they're making.
Exactly. So there are moments where early access is beneficial for a developer because they're like, hey, we have something you guys might like, and then they start playing. I do like this, but I'm not so sure about this, and then that's where you make the adjustments. And I think early access is a good program.
Oh my god. Let's backtrack.
Let's backtrack. Let's backtrack.
Hi-Fi Rush. I completely forgot about Hi-Fi Rush. That game was fucking amazing. I loved everything about that game. And it's AAA. It's made by the people who did Evil Within. The music, the comedy, the characters, the just design of it all. Just, that game was perfect. I love everything about that game.
I watched you stream some of that, and that did look really cool.
I suggest you try it. That game was so much fun.
All right.
But anyways, let's go back.
When it comes to indie games, when you look at it this way, with the headache that we experience with AAA games, or at least a lot of them, I mean, it really is no wonder that indie games have been thriving, right? Like, for one, many amazing games that came from the indie side, they're inexpensive, so a lot more people are willing to pay 10, 15, 20 bucks to try a game these days. I mean, then there's a lot of demos and early access out there, but sometimes like, hey, you know what? With the amount of game sales that they have on the storefronts these days, it's like, hey, this is like 10 bucks. Let's give it a try. And I'm finding more indies are being purchased because of that. But I also find that because a lot of these games are made by smaller teams, many of these companies, you can tell that they put their passion in front of these projects, right?
Yeah.
They put it right up front when you're playing it. You can tell that they're trying to create something unique, or even something similar that you're familiar with. Like, hey, you like the style of game? So do we. So we wanted to make a game kind of like it. And I think that it's awesome because, in a sense, indie games, for me, it just makes games fun and magical again.
Yeah.
What I find interesting about just that, it's not just me. Like, I don't know if you remember the Game of the Year awards for the Gaming Awards in 2021.
I remember 2022 and the Game of the Year with Elden Ring and that little kid coming up and sneaking his way on the audience. That was funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Elden Ring winning that year was actually pretty awesome because no one expected that. Not even the creators of Elden Ring, and they're like, "What?" And you could see that they were quite excited. But backtrack a year to 2021. All right. It Takes Two won Game of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
It's by Hazelight Studios. It's an indie company.
It's the same people that made One Way Out or No Way Out, that prison game we played.
Oh, Way Out. We played that, yeah. So, no, just think about this. It Takes Two from an indie studio won Game of the Year against the following. It won against Deathloop, Resident Evil Village, Psychonauts 2, Metroid Dread, and Ratchet Clank Rift Apart.
Really?
Yes, really.
You're kidding, right?
God damn it, are you fucking with me?
Is this true?
Yes, it's true.
That is phenomenal. That is absolutely huge. That is a testament to the developers of the game. They created something so unique and so fun that you're so blown away that it beat out the competition against some of the heavy hitters in the industry.
This is true. I actually remember that now that you mention it. It Takes Two was... I never played it. I watched Shoko play a little bit of it. I don't know if it's a game that I could personally play, but like just the general aesthetic of it and everything, the art design, the music was really good. So, I mean, people decided it deserved it, then it deserved it.
Now, I haven't played it personally either, but according to a few people at my job, they said, A, I need to play it, but B, they said play it with your significant other. Like, because of the content that's within the game, you two have to work together to get through stuff, and it's some of the material's heavy, but it's a way to get over barriers, and it's unique that you can find that in a video game. The content and the way you work together in the game to come together, and I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, the exact opposite happened in No Way Out, where you just felt like shooting me in the head.
And that was absolutely awesome. Hey, what happens when I do this? What the hell was that? I don't know. I just thought I'd see what happened, you know. But, you know, the Game Awards aren't the only awards that they give video games that year. One of the other big ones is the Game Developers' Choice Awards. And you'll never guess what game won Game of the Year for the Game Developers' Choice Awards.
What was that?
Hades.
I'm honestly not surprised by that.
See?
Not one bit.
Hades is an indie game, and it outbeat the competition, too. That is an amazing game, too. I've played that.
They're also a growing indie. Like, the company made Bastion.
Yes.
Transistor.
Yep.
Transistor is phenomenal.
Yep.
It's a short game, only like 5 hours, maybe 6 at most. But it's epic story. So good. So well done.
It goes to show you, people want to come out with something fun to play, have a magical experience, have a great story, have fun gameplay, and it's making such an impact that it's winning awards. That's the point I'm trying to drive across. Like, damn.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
A game's a game. It doesn't matter if it's AAA or indie. If it's better than the AAAs, it's going to get the award.
Graphics aren't everything. The size of your studio isn't everything, and the amount of money you put into it isn't everything. I mean, even some people are the most creative because of the limitations that they have, and that's also what makes it even more fun.
Unless you're Kojima.
Unless you're Kojima, you're in a category of your own if you're Kojima. I don't care if you're making an MSX game, a PlayStation 1 game, a PS3. I don't even care if you're making if you're doodling on a paper. If you're Kojima, you just win, all right? You just win at life, and I will play whatever you put in front of me.
Hell yeah.
Now, I also want to throw out a couple of other indie games that actually become heavy hitters.
What that?
Minecraft.
Yeah, that is true. It created a whole genre.
It did. That changed. That's a behemoth of a game now. That changed the industry. But Minecraft has become bigger than what it was when it started. And another one, Rocket League.
Rocket League is a big one.
It is now considered a competitive esport, and that was released as an indie game from a small company.
Yeah, the one thing, this can be a conversation for another one, but esports is kind of on the downfall right now. It's not as popular as it was. It's kind of losing its gusto.
Well, as somebody who works in IT for a school district, I have one school that's trying to set up an after-school program for esports, and Rocket League was one of the games that we had to install. So that's saying something about the game specifically. Like you started with something small that was fun, and now it just becomes something bigger than we ever thought it could be. That's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Then there's things like Power Wash Simulator.
That's actually something I wanted to ask you. Like, can you give me a list of some of your favorite indie games? And I was hoping Power Wash Simulator would be on that list.
I mean, Power Wash Simulator, Hades is a good one. I haven't finished Hades, but it's so worth the time. I like the little games like Vampire Survivor. More recent one that's still in development is Halls of Torment, which is like Diablo meets Vampire Survivor. I'm just going through a small list here real quick. Let's see. V Rising's pretty good. I just haven't gotten too deep into it. Subnautica.
Oh, that's right.
Subnautica is a wondrous game. Stardew Valley.
My wife loves that game.
And the one more recent one that I'm really wanting to get into because I'm starting it on stream is Shadows of Doubt. The idea behind it, and it's just like a detective game with procedurally generated city end crimes.
Yeah.
That just pop up that you have to solve is just really cool, and it's a voxel based game, so everything's built with like blocks like Minecraft, but they're much smaller. But I mean, there's a lot of indies out there, and of course Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight is amazing.
One of the biggest AAAs that came out years ago and is an online game is Warframe. It's a good game. It's a really good game. And then Path of Exile.
Path of Exile. Yeah. Oh, dude. Path of Exile.
Your alternative to Diablo. I kickstarted that game.
Yeah?
When it was first coming out, I kickstarted it. I played in the alpha because I kickstarted it.
Nice.
The game is really good, but, I mean, there's a lot out there, dude. A lot of games out there.
There are. Some of my favorites, other than Hollow Knight, Shovel Knight.
That is one I never really played or got into.
What I love about Shovel Knight, and I think it was one of the biggest success stories for indie games, at least when it first released, was here I am playing, in a sense, I'm playing a brand new 8-bit Nintendo game.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a lot of the styles from DuckTales and Mega Man, and it has a unique story and unique characters, and the 8-bit soundtrack, and it takes you right back to old school Nintendo.
Yeah.
In a way that made me fall in love with my love for growing up with Nintendo. And the same can be said for Axiom Verge.
Axiom Verge was really good.
It's an inspiration from Metroid. It's its own Metroid game in a sense, but it also is, in a sense, an 8-bit style NES game. The way it's designed is to remind you of an old school Nintendo Metroid game, but it's its own thing, right?
Yeah.
But the same can also be said for like a game like that I also enjoyed was Dead Cells. It's a side-scroller roguelike, and it reminds you so much of Castlevania. And it's so much that they had an expansion with Konami to do a Castlevania expansion in Dead Cells. It was that cool.
Yeah, Dead Cells is a very cool game. I did try it out when that update came out, and I got to one of the Castlevania levels, but it killed me really quick.
It's not a forgiving game. It really isn't.
No.
Do you remember Journey?
Journey was a really good short adventure. I enjoyed that.
It was short, but that was almost like a spiritual experience for me when I first played that game.
Yeah, and that's what it's meant for.
Absolutely. You remember I played that for Summer of Sploosh?
Yeah.
It reminded me of Journey, but being underwater, and that was a beautiful game. Two games that I didn't realize were indie developers. Soma.
Soma's super indie.
I played that during Summer of Scares, and then Outlast. That game scared the shit out of me, and that was very well done.
Outlast is amazing. I love Outlast so much.
You finished it. I couldn't. I had panic attacks.
I finished 1 and 2.
You did. That's right. You did do 2. I remember you streamed that one also.
Yep.
And last but not least, my absolute favorite. It was an emotional experience for me. Firewatch.
Firewatch is really just so well written.
It was a very well written game, but as a game itself, other than the story, just the art style and the way you explored the woods and the wilderness and uncover the mystery. That's why indie games that's why it's hitting a lot of people like right here in the chesticle, because a lot of these games are emotional stories, but a lot of the experiences are also nostalgic, like when you think of games like Shovel Knight and Axiom Verge. But then when they introduced roguelites, Hades and the Dead Cells, I actually started playing Bastion because of Hades.
Yeah, Bastion is a really good one as well. I love the narrator voice. The narrator voice is amazing.
Yeah, I think indie games are here to stay for 2 reasons: because of the state of AAA games, their costs, and their bugs, and the rushing to get them out, and the cautiousness that we have as gamers to purchase them. But the relatively inexpensive indie games where we just want to either recapture the magic that we had when we were younger, or to experience something brand new that's not going to break the bank, and we're just here for the ride, right? It's absolutely about experience and fun.
There's also a thing to the fact that it's becoming easier for people to learn and pick up engines to make their own. Unreal is free.
That's true.
Unity.
We won't talk about Unity. No.
Unity is quote-unquote free.
Unity dug themselves into a hole, and now the person in charge is finally leaving. So they're having a shakeup at that studio right now, and
I don't know if that's gonna do anything. That might have just been not a publicity stunt, but
Oh, that is for sure a publicity stunt.
Like a sacrificial goat.
Hey, we're gonna get rid of our CEO because apparently it sucks, and we're gonna put this new guy in here instead.
You know who that guy was?
Remind me, because everyone hated him.
He was CEO of EA.
It makes sense.
Who was the guy that thought, hey, after a while we should start charging people to reload their guns in Battlefield for $1.
Oh my god, I remember that. Holy moly. Good, he's gone. But, god damn. The Unity has a lot of cleaning up to do. And Unreal's going, come on in, guys. The water's fine.
Oh my god. But okay, so side note, I was watching Bellular today. He does a lot of Warcraft content and just general gaming news.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how Bobby Kotick's gone at the end of the year now. He's like, now there are a couple things that could happen. He could just say, I'm good. I'm at an age, because he got a $400 million severance, basically. That's his leaving pay, is $400 million.
I hope he chokes on it.
Yes, so do I. But it's fine. He's gone. He's out of the way. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just get him out of here. There's an open spot at Sony.
That's right, because Jim Ryan's leaving.
Could you imagine?
I swear to God, if Bobby Kotick goes to Sony, I swear to God, I'm moving to Xbox.
Right? But you gotta think about it. Sony probably knows that, and they wouldn't take him. But could you imagine?
Will they be trying to get women's breast milk from their refrigerator at the Sony offices if Bobby Kotick takes over?
I think that was an isolated incident of one dude who was fucking stupid.
It was. That's exactly what it was, but it was still under Bobby Kotick's watch, and I'm gonna still use that in my arsenal for a joke.
No, you're mispronouncing the T in there, dude. It's dick.
Oh, my apologies.
Co-dick.
I don't know. It actually gives Dick a bad name.
Oh, damn. Anyways, before we get canceled.
We can't get canceled. Bobby's got to get canceled first, and he's about to at the end of the year. Then you can cancel us.
Sorry, I'm suing the Paradigm Society for defamation.
Yeah, you want $400 million for that? Because I ain't got it. I got $1 in my wallet. What did they say in RoboCop?
I'd buy that for $1.
But anyways, that was just a side note. I had to make that comment because Bellular made the comment, so I had to ask you and see what you thought.
The second you brought that up, I was like, no. I will not allow it. In an alternate universe, maybe, but I don't want to be a part of that universe. No.
I'll be truthful. I'm sure that Sony realizes this.
Bobby, go home. Take your $400 million, buy a yacht, buy an island. I don't care. Live off the land. Just leave gaming alone. You've already done enough damage. No more. We don't need any more horror stories.
The problem is, he was too good at his fucking job, and I hate it.
Yeah, he made the stakeholders money. I get it.
Too much money.
He also made himself too much money. You know who needed that money? The workers. The people who are on strike. I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, no. We good.
Yeah, we're good.
That's a story for another day.
The gamers know that I'm always on the side of the gamers.
Yes.
And the developers, the people who build the games that we love to play. Well, on that note, they're AAA games, indie games. What are your final thoughts?
I hope that AAA game companies pull their head out of their ass and stop caring so much about getting the game out right away and actually finishing the games, but I know that that is just a copium of sorts, and I'm just breathing it in. But indie games are here to stay, and a lot of good companies are out there making their games firsthand and perfectly.
Well, my whole take...
The whole take?
What?
Do we need to settle and get the popcorn?
When it comes to the amount of development time for AAA games, how long it takes to make, how much money it takes to make, and then you release it and it's still horrible, it's just baffling to me, right?
It is.
It really is. Games keep getting delayed only to have you release a lackluster product. I don't even know how you can sleep at night. How anybody who's in charge can sleep at night the way they treat their employees, and when a game comes out and it's not successful, and people like the original director of Days Gone who can blame the gamer for not buying it the day it comes out. I'm sorry, but if you're going to make a game that's buggy and technical and keep coming out with years and years and years of terrible launches, we, as gamers and consumers, are tired. We're tired. We're tired of spending our money and being disappointed. That's why we're not buying games at launch anymore. And it's not our fault. It's your fault, the people who are pushing the games out when it's not ready. That's just the facts. And then these people leave your companies, and then they create their own companies, and then they make the games that we've wanted all along. Yooka-Laylee, I'm looking at you, the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. Thank God, even in the sequel, you got David Weiss and Grant Kirkhope to come back to doing the score. That was absolutely amazing. There is so much passion behind both of those games. They may be not Banjo-Kazooie games, but at least we're getting the original team members who were ever involved in it and still getting fun games that they're passionate about to remind us of the games that we enjoyed, right? The whole point of gaming is storytelling. It's feeling. It's emotion. It's magic. It is about playing something and having it connect with you and you connecting with other people for it. If you're just gonna monopolize and just give us nothing but microtransactions, digital deluxe versions, the pre-order perks, the live services, the more you milk us for our money,
the less money we're gonna have.
We know you're gonna do it. I'm going to be frugal with my money on what I buy at launch because of all of the stuff that we've experienced over the years. We're tired of it. We don't want to do it. So indies are here to stay, and I'm excited for it, and I can't wait to play more. Oh, the one we're still waiting for, by the way, Team Cherry. Team Cherry.
Silksong, why? Silksong, why? I'm okay. Just get the game done. We don't want it early. Just get the game done. But come on, where my Silksong at?
We don't want you to rush it. We know it's taking a long time. We just want a hint. Another morsel saying, hey, guys, check this out. It's coming. Don't worry about it. Just It's been so long. I saw it at E3 2019, and it looked beautiful. And that's what got me to play Hollow Knight for the first time, was at E3. I downloaded and bought it on my Switch. You had an amazing game of Hollow Knight. Cannot wait to play the sequel. But that's exciting because we love your product. But we're excited so much that it's been so long that we just want a morsel. We just want a little hint. We want a little peek at the future. So,
Yep.
Help us out.
And I just had a sudden epiphany.
What's that?
Chris Metzen just came back a week ago.
Who's that?
The original creator of, the original art director and creative director for Warcraft.
Whoa.
I'm talking original Warcraft. He's been the voice of Thrall.
Whoa.
He was the voice of Thrall and has always been the voice of Thrall. He was the life breather into Warcraft for years, and he left quite a few years back, 2016, something like that.
Yeah.
And last week or week before, it was announced he was coming back as an advisory role as an assistant executive director.
That is amazing.
This was also just a week before they confirmed the finalization. I'm having a slight conspiracy theory here that Microsoft pushed for Chris Metzen coming back.
I would. If he helped create their Magic of Warcraft, I want that back.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
He's fangirling right now, guys. He's fangirling.
Well, Chris Metzen is awesome, dude. He's epic.
That is legit, dude. That is legit. What was I talking about?
Indies are here to stay.
Indies are here to stay. And if there's anything I want to say about the AAA games, hey, companies listening, the ones who make all the AAA games, other than releasing your stuff too early and buggy and all that stuff, also don't announce it too early. Like, I will literally be fine with you not telling me a single secret. I'm still waiting for Metroid Prime 4. That got announced in 2017. I'm still waiting for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. Now it's rumored to be canceled. Don't announce games if you don't have anything. Seriously. It's like Elder Scrolls 6 is now about to be, started, is what they said, because Starfield's out. No. You announced that so many years ago, and now you're about to start the game? That was a mistake. You built up hype. People are holding on to straws. You saw what happened to Final Fantasy VII when that tech demo came out for PS3. I've been waiting 18 years for the Final Fantasy VII remake. And then we finally got it, but now it's broken up into 3 chunks. But we have it.
You gotta make it, buddy.
But there was a moment there that I thought I was gonna lose my shit because you guys are announcing stuff when it's not ready. Don't do it. Don't get my hopes up. You broke my heart enough times. Don't do it. Silent Hill HD remake, don't even bring that up, Derp. I swear to God.
You gonna make it, buddy?
Yeah, we haven't talked in a while. It's been a while.
I'm gonna be real. I didn't like the Silent Hill 2 look of Mr. Harry.
I don't care. I'm just excited that I'm getting a Silent Hill game. I don't even care if I don't look at his face the entire game. I just want to explore Silent Hill with modern graphics, modern technology, modern ideas for storytelling, and modern controls. I want that. I'm dying for that.
That is fair.
And the hope I have, here's the hope I have. If you can make Resident Evil 2 remake, amazing. Resident Evil 3 remake, it's okay. Resident Evil 4 remake, amazing. If Capcom can do that, what can Konami do for this remake? They know a lot's riding on number 2. That's why they're starting with it.
Well, it's Bloober Team, so it's whoever made
I know, but it's still Konami.
Medium and that.
Bloober Team did Medium. Bloober Team did a lot of good games. I don't care if anybody says Bloober Team's amazing and it's in the right hands. But if Bloober Team fucks this up, you're not going to hear it from me. You're going to hear it from the rest of the community.
And you're going to hear it from you're going to hear it from me.
I'm just happy that Silent Hill's back. That's all I care about, you know?
And you know what it's going to be after that? Hey, Blue.
What?
Silent Hill 2 remake.
No remake. No. I'd rather play PT, the D-Res version, bootlegged on my homebrew channel Vita.
Which I'm guessing you did the other night.
I did find one, yeah. Oh, yeah, Bloober Team.
That was too specific.
They did the Medium. They did the Observer. They did Layers of Fear. They did Layers of Fear.
Yeah.
Amazing games. Now I'm gonna get a Silent Hill game from the people who scare the shit out of me in those games. Sign me up. Let's go. Anyway, if you wrap all of what I just set up, those are my closing statements. Indies, you rock. AAAs, do better.
And from Derp, ditto. You know what it feels like with Sony? They keep an eye on their people, but they don't force them to get it out. They just make sure, hey, you guys want to get this done this week, or try and get this done, get something done, show us your progress, we'll okay it. You know, they try to keep an eye, but they don't micromanage it and try and force them to push it out.
That's the perception, and the other perception on Xbox is like, hey, we bought all this stuff. All right, you got a game? Let's go, release, let's go. It's right off a conveyor belt. No, you guys gotta work on that.
Yeah.
Derp, this has been great. We haven't Cogcasted in a very long time. It was December 2022 since we did this last. That's insane.
It's been almost a year.
Yeah, but I'm glad we decided to bring the Cogcast back, because this is this is about community. This is about reconnecting with my partner in crime, which is you.
Yes, it's been amazing.
We don't have a schedule technically on how many episodes we'll do, but we know we just want to keep doing these. We were even playing with the idea once or twice a month. We'll see how this plays out. But first,
I said once a month just to not overdo it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the only thing I would recommend for anybody who's listening out there, please follow us at theparadigmsociety.com. We're on Discord, which is discord.gg/Paradigm Society. We live and breathe in Discord. It's awesome. If you guys would love to comment on this episode, please feel free to do so. If you have any suggestions on stuff you want to talk about, please leave us some comments. And hey, if you want to be a guest on here, well, you got to be a part of our community, so.
You got to slob the knob a little.
Giggity. But please, let us know what you think, and let us know what some of your favorite AAA games are, and some of your most hated AAA game experiences, and some of your favorite indie games. We would love to hear from you.
What he said.
Derp, when can you catch us?
At the drop of a paradigm.
All right, see you guys later.